Hey everyone, it is Kyle from the Swop. So today, just wanted to do an informative video, share some perspective on the Reserve Ordinal market and the potential of ckBTC. This is not a sponsored video. This is not even like a promotion of Motoko Sentinels. I do own some, and just kind of wanting to help share perspective from someone that trades ordinals on Bitcoin, and what the potential could be for the Reserve Ordinal market, and share insights from the IC market to the Bitcoin market, and give you guys at least a general perspective on what we could be looking at, as we onboard more people to ckBTC and ICP through art and other ways. Obviously, we're still waiting on loan initiatives to pop up for ckBTC and so on. But anyway, the Motoko collection, if you are interested, is on bionic.io. Again, up to you if you want to support it. This is like the mascot of ICP essentially. So we have this is the third iteration of Motoko. So on Tonic, we have Motoko Ghosts, and then we have Motoko Mechs, and then this is the third version using ckBTC as a reserve ordinal. This is still on IC, but we're just transacting with ckBTC. So a lot of people just probably aren't aware of that yet. But basically, Motoko Sentinels, for those that are interested in using these, it is a dynamic reserve ordinal. So Bionic was looking to get to this dynamic state to basically encourage people to inscribe to Bitcoin. It's clear as day that that's what they're doing. So there is 4 levels. Sorry. So you start at level 1 and you're trying to get it to level 4, and in order to not degress, you have to inscribe to Bitcoin, is basically what this is coming out to. So if those of you that don't want to inscribe to Bitcoin, you will stay still on IC, which is fine, but your Motoko will stay at level 1. You'll be accruing fees because it will go back. If you let it sit idle, it'll get rusted. And again, it's to encourage inscribing to Bitcoin so that these can help go into other markets, just so you know. So again, here's the Bionic marketplace. There's a bunch of collections here. We launched Go to Gamer. There's Baby Boxy, which should be Boxy Baby. There's Zombie Trader, G-Night Punks, Nakamoto's, Cyborgs. So there's only a handful of collections yet. There are 2 handfuls, right? 7. So Motoko took the all-time volume already, and it's not even done minting. We're seeing we got about 3,500 or 3,600 remaining to be minted out in the public. Again, the gamification of this collection is encouraging you to, each time you level up, you'll get a new layer, a new trait added to your Motoko. It will stake from 1, 3, or 7 days, and that will be post-halving. You can't stake yet. So just for perspective, that's where we're at. Bitcoin halving should line up on like 419 or 420, and today is the 17th. So we should be seeing the gamification process start fairly soon. So I want to just kind of explain the significance of participating in the game here to inscribe on Bitcoin forever. So if you do not pass the level, you might have gotten damaged or gotten rusted or from sitting idle. So you will have to pay, I think Bionic said, like a 30-cent fee in order to go back on missions in order to level up. There is a lot to be said about becoming the first inscription. In ordinals, you typically want a lower inscription, so the first to inscribe typically has like a grail of a collection. Doesn't really matter of like what traits and stuff you have. Ordinals, they look at inscriptions. The closest to the first inscription ever is really sought after, so they kind of hold that respect for it, right? So Ordinals has just added a lot of dynamics into collecting. So now back to the significance of once you get to level 4 and you're able to inscribe, you're gonna want to check out the mempool. So right now, and I'll go down a little bit. So this is mempool.space. So right now we are seeing 53. I would recommend trying to inscribe as close to 10 or 20 sat VB as possible. You're gonna want to pay the most minimal fees. Now, I'm not saying pick no priority, because it's gonna take forever for certain things to process. What I'm saying is, in most cases, you're gonna want to select medium on Bitcoin, unless you're like doing like you're trying to participate in like a really hyped launch pad. So then I would probably consider going to high fees with a high priority. But we're inscribing from ICP, like the Reserve Ordinal, to Bitcoin. So you're gonna want to wait to see where this mempool is at in order to make your decision on if it's a good time for you to inscribe, in order to reduce your fees. So if you're seeing fees that are 54, that's a little bit up there. There's times where this is going to be over 100, and I'm going to say straight up, you're probably not going to want to inscribe at that time. But I will say, so Motoko Sentinels is also using the BitGen recursion standard, which Bionic created. From experience, Goated Gamer, our collection that we launched for our DAO as we progressively decentralize that, that will also apply to the BitGen, where we basically pre-inscribed all these layers to Bitcoin and retracted, we called all that data to get you the PFP that you have in your wallet. And the only thing that's different is Motoko is, letting you choose if you want to participate in staking to level it up and go from there. So Motoko's file size is bigger than the Goated Gamer. So for perspective, Goated, we are able to inscribe for as low as $3 to Bitcoin forever. I've seen a little bit beyond that, a little bit lower than that, but not quite as expensive as what you would see on Bitcoin. And so when you inscribe to Bitcoin, there's creators that have inscribed all their entire collection for 10,000. And it's cost them multiple Bitcoin, especially in the early days. It's just something that creators on Bitcoin have a burden of at times. It's typically, the file size that you're going to inscribe is going to play a big factor into the priority and the mempool space here. So look for lower fees. So you want to be, again, close to 10 if possible, especially if it's a medium priority. If 10 is medium priority, it's a good time to inscribe, in my honest opinion. So then with where I was getting at too with this, you will also have to wait with Motoko Sentinels, where you could sit idle a bit and you don't actually get a chance to inscribe. So it's going to be interesting to see that gamification part. So with Motoko, if it's really high fees to inscribe, you might degress if you're level 4, and then you have to pay to get rid of the rust, and then go back on that mission and then get to level 4. And it still could be high fees if the ordinals market or the mempool is very congested. And we're about to see a little bit higher in fees with the introduction of Runes Protocol. There's going to be a lot of people going crazy for Runes. But perspective-wise, I think it's important to kind of highlight, where the IC market's at. We have so far on Tonic and Yumi and other marketplaces and so on. We have done 25 million in trading volume. So for perspective, we've done 25 million And the Bitcoin market is at basically like 1.9 billion in market cap for just their ordinals. They still have it listed as NFT, but Bitcoin is ordinals, right? So basically, to get up to 2 billion market cap, we would have to do about, I believe it's like 80 times as much volume in order to catch up to like where they're at for Bitcoin. It's just a much bigger market, like Bitcoin is sitting at Bitcoin market cap is currently 1.2 trillion, and it's been as high as 1.4 trillion. So it's a massive market, and now we're seeing Bitcoiners start to get involved with the ordinals markets and starting to get involved with DeFi. So we're starting to see, a lot of people participate in these things, and I'll even show because the first BRC20 was Ordi, and even this has recently come down, but with Ordi. And these are all like fairly new. These are like a year old, as you can see. This is June, May, right? So these are about a year old, and they, didn't do, crazy numbers, but they see. Well, I guess it depends on what ecosystem you're in, but 360, million market cap here back in May 15th of 2023. Then they've seen a high of 1.8 billion. And that was in March of 24. And now the Ordi market is at 80 something million, 90 million, 800 million, looks like. And then, they have other BRC20s that have done similar numbers. So there's Sats, which is another common one. And just showing these for perspective, like the Runes market is already projected to have billions of dollars in traffic right away. So again, I just want to show a year chart because these are relatively, new. This again started, this is December of 23. Let me show the all-time chart. Yep. So this one started pretty much in December of 2023. And it saw a high of 1.9 billion and is as low as basically 500 million right now. So the Bitcoin market share is obviously fairly massive. It's the only crypto market with a trillion in market cap, and over a trillion for that matter. So right now we are seeing the IC market, still, treading water, gaining its, rhythm, and, starting things out on the network, which is totally fine. And Bionic is fresh too. We just saw, Motoko already get to, Motoko's the first collection to get over 1 Bitcoin in volume. So, fairly new, but we're seeing more traffic come to Bionic now, which is a good thing. Obviously, it's how we grow the Reserve Ordinal market, and Bionic is currently the only Reserve Ordinal marketplace on the IC. Maybe we'll see more, not sure, but just wanted to give perspective of the market's sizes and where we could see Reserve Ordinals head. Motoko Sentinels are obviously a very powerful brand in the IC because it's using Motoko, and fairly supported. So we could potentially see all these users inscribe their Motoko to Bitcoin, which will just become it'll change from a Reserve Ordinal to a wrapped Ordinal, which will allow users to basically send their Reserve Ordinal from their Bionic wallet to a Xverse, which is a Bitcoin Ordinals wallet, or Unisat, another one, Magic Eden, and so on. So whoever's managing the collection, which I assume is Bionic, with the NFT experience and ordinal experience that they have, if all this collection gets inscribed, it doesn't even need to be fully inscribed, but we could get Motokos on Magic Eden or other marketplaces and encourage that to open up the market share that Motokos could potentially obtain. So here we have Magic Eden. They're a multi-chain NFT marketplace. So here you can see they have instant selling and so on. They give you the stats and so on of the collections here. This specific collection is Runestones. This is a very hyped up project. They airdropped everyone that participated in ordinals as long as they hit the criteria of like 3 ordinals in a wallet and so on. These were airdropped. They're currently about $5,000 for the floor. Their market cap is 566 million. So fairly massive collection here for the ordinals marketplace, or the ordinals market is what I was meaning. So we could see, Motoko's potentially come on to Magic Eden after, they're inscribed, and users, as long as the inscriptions are updated on Magic Eden side or other ordinals marketplaces, we are able to list Motoko Sentinels or any other, Reserve Ordinal collection that became a wrapped ordinal. We are able to get those listed on Magic Eden here, or other ordinals marketplaces, and start getting into this 1.8 or 1.9 billion market share of art collections or ordinals collections on Bitcoin. So it's a unique opportunity because we can get our foot in the door and start getting people introduced to internet computer, right? So like, let's say we get a collection listed on Magic Eden. You're able to get a Twitter page set up, or even a website set up. Maybe it directs to internetcomputer.org or whatever, or your personal project if you're a creator. So we have an opportunity here to help influence others to come into the ecosystem, and open up to potential of getting into massive markets. There's like, if you look at these collections, look at this: 566 million market cap, 81 million market cap, 6.1 million market cap, and that's a new collection I think that just launched today. Bitcoin Puppets 208 million, Node Monkeys 226 million, RSIC 97 million, Ape Odyssey 10.4 million. Like, it just goes on. Like, there's a lot of massive potential here for markets that are, or for ordinals collections that are on these bigger, higher demand marketplaces. And that's not like to throw shade at Bionic by any means. This is just to show perspective of when we inscribe these collections on Bionic and they become wrapped ordinals, then the creator or the collection manager can get them listed on these other marketplaces and open up their collection and their community to growing, with new community members coming in, and traders and so on. That's the perspective I'm showing here. I also wanted to show where the ordinals versus NFTs market is at. So this is Google Trends here. So we have ordinals in the blue and then NFTs in the red. So as you can see here, we are on worldwide and past 5 years. So we are seeing that NFTs declined tremendously. I can say, like, I was at NFT NYC for the last 2 years actually. So in 2023, there was about 8 to 10,000 people at the conference, and then there's a lot of side events that were great after, leaving the conference. And then so for this past year, for 2024, there was a lot less demand for NFTs, so it wasn't as great of a turnout as the year before. And sadly, like, it's just it's just one of those things. But I will say, the side events, we saw the emergence of all these ordinals communities starting to get like a lot more momentum. Everyone's talking Runes protocol, getting ready up for Bitcoin DeFi and all that, right? And we haven't even seen ordinals burst over NFTs yet. Like, it's still extremely early. Now, not saying just go ape into ordinals or anything like that. Like, it's just early for ordinals, and it's extremely early for reserve ordinals. Like, these started, ordinals is only like a year old. It's starting to gain its momentum, kind of like how we saw like the early NFT craze back in like 19, and obviously it's really popped off in 2021 when everyone's like hearing stories of people making $1 million from NFTs. We're not at that point yet with ordinals, and we're in a bigger market than Ethereum ever been. Like, we're in a much bigger market than Ethereum. So ordinals could have massive dominance over the NFT space, or market for art, in crypto and blockchain. So again, I just wanted to kind of show that to you all, so you kind of gain like fresh insights on what could happen if the community really starts to adopt ckBTC. Maybe we start to see more people trading on ICP, because ordinals enjoyers, they love the on-chain narrative, and they're still getting that with the IC, right? So I think it's important for the ecosystem to acknowledge this, and at least gain curiosity with it, research more, and start to experiment, or like as a creator experiment, right? Like, this is the cheapest way you could inscribe to Bitcoin, which is a powerful thing, which is obviously getting your art inscribed forever on Bitcoin, the most known blockchain in the world, right? That's a powerful thing, and maybe we'll start to see more creators from the IC. Obviously, Motoko Sentinels is created by John Ball of Poke Studio. It would be really cool to see these inscribed on Bitcoin and then all of a sudden go crazy, right? It's just my personal opinion. I do own Motoko Sentinels. Whether they go to 0 or if they get supported, I really don't care. I'm supportive of the IC ecosystem, so this is cool to me if we can get people to start recognizing ckBTC. I will say, if these all get inscribed, they will trade in Bitcoin on other marketplaces, but on Bionic, because it's a wrapped ordinal, it will transact in ckBTC. So we're getting people their first experience with ckBTC here, which is a massive thing. And how we grow this technology is we get in niche markets, right? So this is the foot in the door for many people in using ckBTC for the first time. It might not be with Motoko Sentinels. It might not be with Go to Gamer or any of these collections here, or G9 Punks, Boxy Baby, and Zombie Trader, or whatever. It might not be with any of these collections here. It could be with something else. But these are the OGs. If you want to support ckBTC, consider doing so. If you want to participate in the Motoko Sentinel Launchpad, it is here. It's got about 3,500 yet to go through. So just wanted to share some insights, and maybe a discussion that can go around the IC community to gain awareness and talk about these points that could be beneficial for the ecosystem with adopting ckBTC more. And obviously we still need to see like lending occur with ckBTC and so on. So maybe we start to see more community discussions and more people embracing ckBTC, so we can help Bitcoin and keep it less congested than what we're going to see with the upcoming Runes protocol. Because in my opinion, Runes protocol and all these ordinals launchpads are going to congest this fairly quickly, and that is going to occur sometime around the Bitcoin halving, which is expected for 420 or 419 once block 840,000 passes. So again, do your own research, stay involved, actively engage, with the community, the IC community, right? And help spread information about ckBTC, and as far as making a difference in the community. Chime into spaces, grow, piggyback off one of another, and help encourage others to become creators in the ecosystem here. The best way to grow is by word of mouth. So, get out there and participate in the governance and stay active. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off here. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Again, this wasn't, not financial advice. Like, if you want to support Motoko's or Motoko Sentinels, that's your own choice. This was just an informative video to help share perspective and insight on where the Ordinals market's at and where Reserve Ordinals could get to as it keeps getting adopted. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are.